I'm live. All right. Hey, that's been a long time since I've been alive. I think the last time I did one of these videos was 4 or 5 years ago. Not sure. And our sign is backwards. Cool. It says you don't have to be perfect to be powerful, which is true because the sign doesn't even have to be right side looky. How could we get that anyway? I'm new to this video stuff, so I'm actually streaming because I don't know how to do it the other way and edit it and all of that kind of stuff. Becca, my wife, says that I need to be edited, so I have to be really, really, really careful with what I say because I tend to wander sometimes. Anyway, as I guess my title of this was The Pros and Cons of Naggers in Your Life. And my biggest nagger is my wife, naturally. I mean, like I'm a man, right? So who else would be your biggest nagger? Is your wife, right? She got to keep you going. She's been saying I need to do these videos. I started one time and did a few, and she said, you need to stop doing the videos.
Oh my gosh!
So that was really good.
That's so not true.
So what I found out is that, like when you give church talks or something, or if you're asked to speak someplace, really screw it up really bad the first time, they never ask you again. And but I got asked again. I spent a wonderful month this last month with a bunch of Sensi people. First, we went to convention and leadership, and then we were able to stay with some people and visit some people. Then we came back over to Hawaii and hosted the Watsons here for the Wickfries, you probably know them as, Scott and Alexandria and their daughter, excuse me, Brave. That's what Becca calls her anyway, Thea. And had a great time there. And I'll explain a little bit more of that later. Then we left and dropped them off at the airport, got on the airport, flew to Vegas, and were able to meet with some more great Sensi people and go to a special personal event held for the Markowitzes. And then we flew back. And what happened was, Wickfries were here. I've known Scott. I've met Scott before. I met Alexandria a couple times before, and heard wonderful things about the great things that they do with their business in Sensi and the great people that they are. And I see them all the time traveling all over the world, and I think, man, that is really cool. How do they get to do that? And with time and all of that stuff, and they just go. Like I love to travel. But Becca, she doesn't really like to travel too much. She doesn't like to go out of the country, and luckily health problems took over, and so we can't do a lot of traveling. But Scott and Alexandria, they are world travelers, and even Thea, I think she has what, 220 stamps. Well, that means I guess she's been to that many different countries or airplanes or whatever on her passport since, and she's 4. You know, I'm thinking, wow, you know, that's quite a bit. Anyway, well, they were here. They are quite the recruiters in Sensi, in our business. And he, for some reason, liked my videos before when I used to do them. And so he said I needed to start doing them again. And I said, nah, I really don't like doing videos because I don't really know what to talk about. And he said, well, I'll take notes. So as he wandered around, as we did our week here going around, we were either conversing about Sensi or about Sensi or about life with Sensi or about Sensi with life or how Sensi fit into life, because that's mostly all we do. In fact, that's all Becca does. Sometimes she even talks to me about how Scentsy fits into our life. And so, but anyway, oh, my tongue's all white.
What?
Anyway, I have to see. I'm supposed to be authentic, and this is me authentically. We do have the setup back here because we're authentically staged, and I put off doing these videos for a long time because I didn't have any place to do them. Anyway, Scott and Alexandria are great recruiters and trainers, and their business is exploding. And so he challenged me, and I mean, I can usually like brush off challenges and everything, but he was pretty determined to. So he said, okay, so every time we recruit somebody, I think he said this month, so I'm almost out of it. No, I think he said forever, but I'm not sure that I have to do a video. So this is my first one because now I'm only 6 or 7 behind because while they were here, and the week that they were here, they were on the phone all the time, and I think they recruited 3 or 4. It was right after convention, and everybody was going crazy with the Disney thing, and they do. They recruit 7 or 8 or 10 constantly every month anyway, and so this was just a way for them to get a big jump on it. Plus, they love changing people's lives, and that's the great thing about Scentsy. It does do that more than anything. As Beck and I have always said, the greatest product Scentsy has is this opportunity, and we saw that in action this week as we were able to, because of the lifestyle that we have, because of Scentsy, we were able to fly to Hawaii, stay for 2 weeks, spend a week with Wickfries, and they were able to fly here after their month. I think they spent 50 days going all over different places and then back to Spain where they live. And then we were able to drop them off, get on the airplane, fly to Vegas, have a wonderful weekend there with the Markowitzes and with Sean and Deanie Morehouse and some other guests that popped in. And it was a wonderful weekend. And I learned a lot. I did. I learned a lot. I learned a lot about some wonderful people. I had not spent a lot of time with Sean and Deanie Morehouse, and great people, do great things, great leaders in Scentsy, but wonderful people. And I learned a lot of different things. One of the biggest questions that I get asked as we go around and do different kind of talks and speeches and do Scentsy stuff and everything are the spouses, the husbands, generally the spouses, are always asking me, or the women, I'm sorry, the consultants are asking me, how can they get their husbands more involved in their Scentsy business, or how can they get them to support their Scentsy business? And as I talked to the 3 leaders, Scott Wickfrey and Scott Watson. I always knew them as the Wickfries. I didn't know they had other last names. And Sean Morehouse and Mitch Markowitz. I learned some really interesting things about supporting our spouses that are consultants. And because I think the term support is a really catch-all term that I think has to be worked out individually between spouse and consultant, because what I consider support is not always what other people consider support. But I got I was able to pick up one thing, and and one of the consultants' husbands said to me, I just want to grab them and shake them. That'd be the husbands. grab them and shake them and just ask them, how much do you really love your wife? Because if you really, 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 truly loved your wife, you would support her in this. I mean, we don't, hopefully our wives, some of our wives, I don't know how to put this, you know, they don't really want us to do the business for them. They want us to support them. I've learned that I think I kind of learned how women used to feel when they were required by roles of service of whatever it was, the roles of males and females, to stay home, take care of the kids, support their husband, put up with all his crap, go to all his functions, and everything he did was the most important thing. And I can see why they didn't like it. You know, it wasn't that great a deal. So I think when we as husbands start to figure out how we can actually support our spouses, it will make it a lot more convenient, a lot easier on the marriage and the family, and a lot easier on their business. So that's my take from that. I don't know if it made any sense to anybody, but it had to be done. So I promised myself I wouldn't take too long, and I have already taken 11 minutes and 47 seconds of your time. And if there's nobody out there, it doesn't really matter. So it's kind of like that. If a tree falls in the forest and nobody's around, does anybody hear? You know. So if you're not listening or watching this, then I didn't bother you at all. All right. You have a great night. We'll see you again. And Scott, if you don't watch this, I am going to be really, really ticked. Bye-bye. Oh, it's morning now in Spain. It's night here. And so we're going to go to bed here eventually. And Scott's going to wake up and go to work. All right. All right. Have a great day. Bye-bye. End stream. It's not ending stream. Hi, folks. Hey, babe. It's not ending stream. It's not ending stream, babe. Not even sure if it was streaming. How do you get it to turn off? Oh, I was pushing on it. Oh.